I'm traveling, so I'll have to switch off in some time. I'm not yet reached home.
Switch off means you will be out of the room.
Sorry?
You will be out of the room. You will leave.
Yes. Yes, yes,
But you will be joining when you get back.
yes. So what so you have all the rights now.
Yeah,
You can
thank you.
continue.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am. Vijay
Okay,
Lakshmi
bye.
ji has also come. Shweta Vishwakarma ji from Phoenix World School. That's great. Solanki साहब भी आ गए हैं. Ma'am, you are Indian Engineering Services. Adishri ji has also come, but she has left. Anyway, we will start now. I will start sharing the screen. You see, basically, this is the third one in the series of how you train or make your kids 21st century appropriate to fit into this millennium. How and what should be done. The first one was to tackle their curiosity. What was done to us as a curious person is all gone, outdated. Second one I did was etiquettes and mannerism in the kids. And that was also very much important. Now the third one is how to instill in our kids the values and virtues. And the next one will be how to develop, how to make good habits and break bad habits in your kids. The next one will be on, if anybody remembers, 24th of January. Right? So here we start.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Shall we start now? So I welcome everybody, each one of you on behalf of Vinora Education Services in this webinar, which is most sought after in the present millennium. Not only this time, but we have seen that it has been a requirement for the parents from since ages. They have been worried about उनका बच्चा ऐसे है उनका बच्चा ऐसे है and we could just see these type of statements in the gathering public gatherings, but that is not a right thing. What is the right thing and how to address these particular things, how to teach your child, how to tackle the curiosity in your child, we have done it. The second one we did was etiquettes and manners, how to behave, and these all four qualities are very much important as far as they are related to society, how they move into the society, how they behave in front of others, in front of not only known people, even unknown people also, how do they behave. The third one is values and virtues. The values and virtues are very much important, and so are the second one, the human values of five things: love, peace, truth, right conduct, and non-violence. These are very much natural and true characteristic of any human body. Every human person, male, female, hardly makes a difference. A kid or an adult, a very grown up, 80 years of age. I am 62. Nivedita ma'am is much elder to me. But when we go into these values, we just find out the truth. And then we come to the conclusion that there are two type of perspectives in virtues: intrinsic as well as extrinsic. Intrinsic values are those which have their which are there in their which have value in their own right, just like honesty. So we expect everybody to be honest. Kindness, we need everybody to be kind, and kind not only human to human, male to female, adult to young, even to animals, even to trees, plants. Just like this afternoon I was going through a video that nobody is listening to the environmental pollution and nobody is listening to plantation. कि भाई एक पेड़ लगा दो, एक पेड़ लगा दो. Then there was a mime, and in the reels I saw over there that a person was saying कि nobody is interested in uh, planting the saplings. But if there would have been Wi-Fi on the trees, everybody would have planted thousands and thousands. Because we are all engaged in these utter nonsenses that are attracting us. अभी देखिए, मैं बोलना नहीं चाहता, दोज जो नास्तिक थे वो भी आस्तिक होते जा रहे हैं क्योंकि अयोध्या में राम आ रहे हैं. तो राम क्या आपके दिल में नहीं है? अब किसी ने पंडित जी से पूछ लिया कि पंडित जी एक बात बताइए, मैं तो राम की पूजा करता हूं, तो कृष्ण जी नाराज तो नहीं हो जाएंगे? वो कहता है ऐसे कोई बात नहीं. आप किसी एक को याद करोगे, एक का पूजन करोगे, दिस इज इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू. आप किसको चाहते हो, आप किसकी भक्ति करते हो? तो कहते हैं राम की. तो राम से अगर इसका विच्छेदन किया जाए तो राधा माधव दोनों के दोनों हैं उसमें, तो उनकी भी पूजा हो जाती है. माँ से माँ भी होती है तो माता का भी हो गया. फिर चलते चलते सबका हो जाता है, इसलिए किसी एक को. फिर पहले भी एक दुआ है, एक साधे सब सधे, सब साधे सब जाए. दैट इज इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू. एक्सटेंसिक वैल्यू, मुझे फेम चाहिए, आई वॉन्ट टू बी फेमस, आई वॉन्ट टू बी वेल्दी. व्हाट शुड आई डू? दैट इज एक्सटेंसिक. वहां पे आपकी वर्च्यू काम देगी. यू सी, अ रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द पर्सन एंड अ गोल, दैट इज वैल्यू. एंड फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वैल्यू क्या होती है? If a criminal comes to you and he asks you about the address of your friend, will you tell him truth? Although it is an intrinsic value, a basic human character which is expected of a human being. But will you be true at that time? Or you will try to save the life of your friend? There it comes the honesty. So honesty takes the upper hand, and you will say, no, I am honest to my friend. Please keep yourself mute. Don't open up. Otherwise, I have to mute from you from here. So from here we start. That is, if it is a greater good, then you will be protecting your friend from the harm. And what are the values? This is what I have given you. But there can be value conflicts also. There can be two values. Either you are honest or you are loyal. Both are intrinsic values. But which one will be taking supremacy? Which will be you will prioritize? Which one you will keep on number one? Depends upon the circumstances. You see, for example, if a person is honest and if he has to speak out which is not true, so he will keep quiet. No gestures, no hints, no words. I am honest. I will not be going. And but the thing is that honesty, not to such an extent where we say, "Sir, please, ma'am, please, whosoever is opening, don't unmute yourself." I don't understand. I have to put it from here. So there should not be any disturbance in between. Otherwise, others will be also missing out on the lessons for which the purpose is that you have to be here. You are here to learn something. and act accordingly. Whatsoever you learn over here, you will be just implying them on your kids, your own kids first, then your school children, and then it goes to the community. A loyal person may believe in the importance of keeping one's confidence, so that means which might harm others. Trusting relationship है, just like financial irregularity by your immediate superior, if it is there, you will keep quiet because you are loyal. Over here, the loyalty takes supremacy. So that depends upon the circumstances. What are your priorities? Next one is, as I told you, love, peace, truth, right conduct, and non-violence. These are latent in every human being. The only thing is that they have to be developed in the kids, but not by sermonizing, as I have given you in the previous webinars also on developing kids' behaviors or as a human being. It is not sermonizing, it is the way you model these things into their life. In today's world, what we say, the last, the value education, it makes important thing in the lives of the kids because it gives them the direction to make right decision in difficult situations. Just like I gave you the example just now of honesty and loyalty. Similarly, the values help develop the character and personality development. And finally, not only finally, but there are a number of other things also which we'll be discussing in the later on, that improve their mental and emotional strength in the difficult situations. If you can take rightful decision, that is giving you to improve your mental strength, that you are stable, you are not emotionally shakeable in the difficult situations. Generally what happens, if my son is generally daily comes at 8 o'clock, at 8 o'clock he comes, if someday it is 8:15, what first thought will be coming to my mind? What will be coming to my mind? Has something gone wrong? Always negative thoughts come. But if you have got these four characters, then value will be getting supremacy, and your you will be emotionally stable at that particular time. Will try to contact him. If it is not possible, then his office, then his superiors, then his friends, and finally you come to your relatives. By the time you start ringing or dialing for the first relative, you will get a call back from your own son. My son, I'll get, okay, Dad, I'm stuck in the traffic today. I don't know where from these many people have come to Mumbai or Pune or Thane or somewhere. And where I am stuck, I will be a little bit late. That gives you emotional strength. Now, through this excellent tool of values and virtues, the skill of empathy also develops. And empathy will be very much helpful. Empathy means what? To put yourself in other shoes, to see how you will feel if you would have been into that situation. What will be your condition? That is empathy. So, empathy is a remarkable skill when it comes to solving conflicts, understanding others' opinion, even problem solving in your daily life. Manage your responsibilities effectively. It develops, it is basically, it goes hand in hand with the concept of democratic thinking, which means how I feel, the same feeling will be yours. So that is, he will be developed, your child will be developed into a mindful citizen. And once it is done, he will be appreciated throughout. Now, how many types? We know that honesty, goodness, humility, these are all values, and they are all called moral values. These values can be classified into a number of other subclasses: spiritual value, moral value, social value, intellectual value, economic values. I don't have to spend unnecessarily. If it is necessary for me or my wife or my family, then only. If it is essential, rather, my purse is full of money and my son asks, Daddy, I want a chips. Fine. After 10 minutes, I want a chocolate, because he has seen the chocolates also. Third thing, he sees an ice cream parlor, and now he say demands for parlor. So how much you will be giving him? You have to put a stop to these demands, because you have to develop him into a total personality. And what that says, in not succumbing to the pressure of your kids' tantrums. He will be throwing food, he will be stomping his foot on the floor, started crying, not eating meals, number of other things are there. Now, we go on to the next one: role of family, educational institutions, and society in inculcating futures values. All of them play very important roles. Family is most important because the child, right from the birth, he is with you. And the people say, at what age we should start teaching them the values, the etiquettes, the manners, to satire their curiosity, or to develop good habits or break bad habits. What age we should start? You see, yesterday I was just having a walk in the society. There was a young man with two daughters. One was nearly 3 years, going to be 3 years, and the another one was just 7 months or 8 months probably. What he said is, sir, ki parenting has become difficult. It is not. Parenting is still same. My father still teaches me a number of things. The only thing is that ki in our times, we used to get 25 paisa, 50 paisa a day as a pocket money. Out of that, I am talking about myself. At that time, when I used to get 50 paisa, I used to spend 25 paisa for cycle when I was 10 or 12 years for 1 hour. And today, a kid, yesterday, what I saw, that is the example. The kid is riding a small tricycle. She is not able to balance herself also, and she is riding. She got that bicycle or tricycle from her grandparents. So that is also spoiling the child. Give him that much which is age appropriate. I've seen when I travel in the trains, number of times, the parents, not to be disturbed, they give their mobile to a child of 4 years, 5 years, without thinking mindfully that this will lead to their addiction. I'm seeing these days. Yes, day before I was traveling in Mumbai local, I have seen 90% of the young men who are coming from Bandra or prior to that station, most of them just mobile, WhatsApp, talking, this, that. Array, leave it for some time. Have a peaceful mind for some time, at least while you are traveling, at least when you are having meals with your family. How many of you have dinner together, whole family sitting together? Your parents, your kids, your husband, your wife, everybody. No mobile, no television, no newspaper, no, not even the official type or professional type talks at that time. Just write in the chat box how many of you do that. So that, because the thing is that we believe that the socializing is the most important tool of we being popular in the public. But what it will do, unless and until you are monetizing either, or you are going to fight a election, that is of no use. So that much role the family can play by modeling. Now comes the educational institutions. School is the first place where the individual values get compared with the larger value of the society. Midway, a few years back, while admitting a child, there used to be an one to one interaction with the parents or the admission in charge. And the parents or the community, they call it interview. No, there was not an interview, there was interaction. Just to find out these all things, either they are existing in their family or not, and to what extent the child is trained in these things. And then when the child goes to school, then the curriculum imparts the important thing. At one point of time, these things, हमारे टाइम में moral education जो है, that was an integral part of languages. अपना काम स्वयं करो in Hindi. In Hindi textbook, there used to be stories. There used to be poems like value of punctuality, being disciplined, being organized. How long will you keep on telling your child, be organized, keep your bag in the place, keep your shoes in the place, keep your uniform in the place? How much? How much? So, right from day one, when you start doing yourself, you come back from the office, keep your things. And if the papa is doing, then mummy is saying, see what papa is doing? He is keeping bag in the place, he is keeping shoes in the place. So that is modeling of the behavior, and that will develop into values. That will develop into further. It will be strengthened right from the kids. Preschooling वहां से शुरू होगा, and then it goes up when they become adolescent, teenagers, young men, and then middle age. Then lifelong it will continue as a habit. It develops into hardened. Next is the role of society. अब सोसाइटी जो है, इसमें बहुत लोग आते हैं, बट फ्रेंड्स, नेबर्स, मीडिया spoiling the kids. Then films, religion also is also being misused for developing values. Our what we say, our political leaders. I'm not saying spiritual leaders. Then finally the government. These are all the society, the part of society which are impacting the values in our kids. Most importantly, friends, on number one, a man is known by the company he keeps. This is a very old slogan, and this is true for ages, and it will be true for ages. Next is shaping the moral values. So start early. Invest time and effort with your kids, their moral growth. And that way, अब आप किस तरीके से आप how you take your meals on the dining table, how you behave with a lady or an elderly person, how you behave, that will exemplify to your kid how he is expected to behave in front of such people. If you are going in a public transport and you offer your seat to an elderly woman, then he will learn by repeated action. It will be a value for him also. So how do you develop, shape, reward positive behavior? Every time, you see, in our times, there was carrot and stick. That was the philosophy. But nowadays, there is no carrot. Oh, no stick. No stick policy. No corporal punishment. Then how do we instill these values? By rewarding good behavior. Your child comes good back from the school. He keeps everything on his at his place, washes his hands and feet, and comes on the dining table. Mama, bhook lagi hai, give me some food. And once you offer it, he says thank you to you. So this is a very positive behavior, being organized and then also at the same time behaving rightly on the dining table. Once he served the food, he says thank you also. That is also good thing. So what do you do? Beta, after having meals, I have brought you some ice cream also. Wow, mama, you are great. How you will feel your child is doing. So that way we have to behave. So reward positive behavior. But for the negative behavior, don't scold. Take the matter to the dining table afterwards. If your child keeps everything in the place but throws his shoes here and there, socks here and there, and without washing hands come to the dining table, Mama, get me food. Don't say at that particular time, "Ki wash your hands." No. Let him eat. You are not doing your homework. Fine, no problem with me. You will suffer in your class because you will be punished for not doing the homework, and your parents or your teacher will be giving you that type of punishment which will not be acceptable to you, right? Like games period off, recess off, library period off. Generally, these days, that is the punishment we give to our kids or students in this school. If you don't do your homework, you will be sitting with me in this staff room. We will discuss. I will explain to you next time again, and then you will do the homework, but yourself. I will not rather hand guide you. You will do yourself. Then, how children learn values by watching their parents. This is what I am telling you for last two webinars, and this one also, and the next one also will be how you behave, how you act. They will be watching you and they will be adopting the same thing. So modeling is the best way of. अभी आप देखिए ना, मैं वेबिनार के लिए करता हूँ. There was one lady. Okay, sir, why you are sending me so many advertisements on daily basis for your webinar? Ma'am, if this would have been for Amazon or Flipkart or such type of uh, uh, these things, websites, where they are offering seasons bonanza, 50% off, 60% off, you might be scrolling down the offer. But for the something which is valuable to your child, you are saying this. So better you leave. She left this particular one, values and virtues. Okay, sir, I will not be attending today. Man, that is your greatness. That you realize your mistake. Fine. So the best to teach them as a preschooler, always. And then it becomes natural part of their personality. So some values to teach to your kids is accountability, number one. If you are good, I will reward you. And this is your duty also. This is your utmost responsibility also to develop your kids into a wholesome personality. So the first one thing is accountability. But if he is wrong, then he must be taught to say, yes, I have done, to owe up the responsibility and this thing, ownership of their action. This is what we come to the term ownership of the action. So, how to problem solve? If they are accountable, they will be able to solve the problems at hand because they will develop through accountability, they will develop a reasoning. reasoning behind their values, whether this is good for you or me. It is like three-way test of Gandhi gave. Listen, I have something to tell you which is important. So the three-way test is whether it is important for you or important for me. Number two is whether it is true or not. And number three is whether it is worthwhile for the society at large. If it is, then I'll go by you. Otherwise, forget it. You do this thing once, twice, thrice, all the gossips in your staff room will end. Nobody will talk to you anything nonsense, which is not liked by you. अरे ये आदमी ऐसे ही फीका है. He doesn't react. There has to be a reason behind every value. Next is communication. This is very important. And communication includes not only talking, not only two-way interaction. It is not only open communication should be there, like in the sense that the child should be able to communicate with the parents. Number one, first is parent, not what he wishes, but what he wants, his needs, his concern. Sometimes you can find out from the class teacher of your child in the preschool, even in the primary school time also, ki what type of interaction or communication my child is having with his peers, with the teachers, with other staff people and all. The teacher says कि मैडम आपका बच्चा तो बोलता ही नहीं है. Immediately you will repel कि मैडम घर में तो बहुत शैतानी करता है. It is good to be shy sometimes, but not always. Try to find out what are the circumstances which have made. कौन सा बच्चा आज तक आपने अपनी जिंदगी में ऐसा देखा है कि जो स्कूल जाते समय फर्स्ट टाइम जब स्कूल आप भेजते हैं तो वो रोता नहीं है और टेंट्रम्स नहीं करता है. बट ऑल डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द टीचर्स. आफ्टर अ वीक और सो संडे को पूछता है कि मम्मा आज स्कूल नहीं जाना. एंड यू आर सरप्राइज्ड कि एक हफ्ते पहले माय चाइल्ड वाज just showing tantrums to go to school and now he is asking ki whether there is a school today or not. So there should be mutual respect and openness right from early age. Your child is crying in the morning. अभी देखिए बच्चा घर से स्कूल आता और एंड once he enters the school, he runs to his one of the favorite teachers and starts sobbing. And the teacher asks, why? What happened? Madam, my head is, there is a pain in my head or my stomach, or I am hungry or something. And immediately you react. कैसे पेरेंट्स हैं बच्चे को स्कूल जबरदस्ती भेज देते हैं? That is not the case. The case is the kid loves you to such an extent that उसने इन चीजों के बारे में अपने पेरेंट्स को बोला ही नहीं. Never he tells, he shares his problem with his parents because he wants to be in your company. That is respect you have developed and you can develop by your kindness, by your loving nature. You can develop. That is communication. Parent teacher meeting mein how many times you might have heard ki madam, my son, my daughter doesn't eat that what you call bitter gourd. What will you do? Parents तो मेरे पास शिकायत लेके आ गए, मैडम ये करेला नहीं खाता, मैडम ये गेम्स खेलने नहीं जाता. That is not their problem. Basically they are complaining to you because they know that as a teacher you have got all solutions, because we are not only teachers. हालांकि बुरा मत मानिएगा, all through the COVID and after that every community got appreciation from one of the greatest men of our country, but not the teaching community. Never we got a single word of appreciation. कहाँ टीचर्स की ड्यूटी नहीं लगती है मुझे बता दीजिए. Class teaching, and in the name of that you are doing your duty only for 6 hours. And what about others who are doing about 8 hours? They are free after 8 hours. We are not free. Except 8 hours of sleeping, we are not free. इलेक्शन में हमारी ड्यूटी, पॉपुलेशन में हमारी ड्यूटी, प्लांटेशन में हमारी ड्यूटी, काउंसलिंग में हमारी ड्यूटी कहाँ हमारी नहीं है. कोविड के टाइम में वाइन शॉप और टोल टैक्स तक में टीचर्स की ड्यूटीज. एंड व्हाट रेस्पेक्ट वी गेट फ्रॉम आवर सोसाइटी. जिसको कुछ नहीं मिला वो टीचर बन गया. I am telling you, the face of our country will change once there's intelligentsia who are topping the IAS, IPS services, Indian foreign services. Those brilliant minds, they choose to be leaders, they choose to be teachers. Once they start into this profession, then you will see that the whole the scene of the country will change. So communication is must. I have done family communication, then consideration. You see, if you teach your child to be thoughtful and kind, it will be brightening someone's day. Small problem. मैं बहुत छोटे छोटे example देके I am moving a little bit fast now because it is 7:13. Your neighbor is sick and your child, out of empathy, he says कि mama, let us go to him and I have made a card, get well soon card, I will gift him. Your child is only 5 years. How much he will be happy कि my neighbor's son has come to me to give me these wishes, get well soon. Your child comes back from the home, from his school. He or she is in class 8th, coming by his or her own bike or bicycle, not bike. मामा बहुत जोर से भूख लग रही है, गिव मी समथिंग फूड टू ईट. क्यों दिन में नहीं खाया, लंच नहीं खाया? मैंने किसी को दे दिया बिकॉज ही वॉज वेरी hungry and he was crying out of hunger. So this is good habit. Be kind. Once they start doing this thing, these are very small problems. Ask your child what you believe will your help, how you can help and how it will benefit others. Your soft spokenness, your kind gestures, anything, and you will see the difference. Next is courage. Courage is not only for fighting, it is not only standing up. First, to stand up for yourself. If you have something is done wrong to you, be bold enough to speak it out. If you are not comfortable with that, or something is bothering you, be bold enough to face your fears. Because as a parent, you will not be always there. You will never be. At some point of the time, you have to. अभी देखिए ना, आज की जनरेशन में गुड हैबिट्स, बैड हैबिट्स, अभी देखा पेरेंटिंग ने भी 4 स्टेजेस देखे हैं. एक टाइम था जब इंस्ट्रक्शन था, पेरेंट्स ने बोल दिया बच्चे को करना ही करना है. फिर नेक्स्ट आया क्या, डिस्कशन, देन केम डिबेट. और आजकल तो आप जो बोलो, द यंग जनरेशन 25-30 के बीच वाले जो होते हैं, इमीडिएटली दिस विल काउंटर योर व्यूज, इमीडिएटली. नेक्स्ट इज क्यूरियोसिटी. क्यूरियोसिटी के बारे में मैं पहले भी बोल चुका हूं. डोंट use these words with your kids like shut up, why, when, where, how. Never ask these type of things. Mama, why people hate each other? Can you ask him to stop? You cannot. You cannot. So try to develop these things. Curiosity. I have taken my first webinar was on this only. And you all know about this thing because there are a number of people who are from the previous ones that every time you take it to the dining table. अभी एक एडवर्टाइजमेंट में देख रहा था, मामा वाई स्काई इज ब्लू. फिर उसके बाद आता है बॉर्नवीटा. अगर बॉर्नवीटा में इतनी ताकत होती तो ये स्कूल टीचर्स बुक्स everything is false. Everything might have gone. So never go for these things. Try to satiate his curiosity to the table. डाइनिंग टेबल पे बैठिए ना उनके साथ, बात करिए उनसे, समझाइए उन्हें. अपना एकदम से आपके पास जवाब भी हो, डोंट बी टू क्विक टू रिस्पॉन्ड. टेक सम टाइम and take it to the dining table. The next one is determination. Determination is always taken as, most of the time, it is misconstrued as being bold. Determination should be to such an extent that your child is trained to once decide कि I will do this, then ask him to keep on doing till he succeed. Try and try and try till you succeed. I am there to help you if you seek my help. I will not come to your rescue. I will not go for. The biggest obstacle over here is helicopter parenting. You know, helicopter rovers above our head. That type of helicopter parenting is the worst. Don't do this. Because if out a caterpillar is coming out of egg, you break the egg, you have made a grave mistake. Because once he comes by force out of the egg, due to that force, his body fluid runs into the wings, and that caterpillar becomes a full butterfly. So that way, you will be sacrificing the lesson they can learn by themselves, by their own experience. Sometimes 50% you tell them, 50% let them learn on their own. But under no circumstances you may guide them unless and until they seek your advice. I think so. Empathy, we have done it earlier just now. Empathy, we have done. All the things, relationship, sense of positive purpose, discipline, praise, feedback, everything we have just now, we have done empathy. Next one is, my next is good habits and bad habits. I'll stop it here now, and I'll be sharing this recording tomorrow morning, and within 3 hours you will get your certificates also. I'll stop sharing now, and if anybody has got any question in your mind, just do share with me. I'll have a sip of water now, and there are 15 people, including me. There are 10 people only in the, there are only 10 chats. Please mark P in the chat box to mark your presence. Again and again, every one I am seeing that I am repeating this thing. Mark P in the chat box to mark your presence. Right in the beginning, I asked to open up your video. Most of you done. Fine, that is great. Narayani Agarwal. There was nobody in the name of Narayani Agarwal. Please, you explain to me in my message box, WhatsApp, Narayani Agarwal, because there are only 3 Agarwals in today's workshop. Oh, sorry, webinar. So you just Let me know which Agarwal you are. Two have left. Just mark P in the chat box, and within 30 seconds, I am going to put off this webinar now. Nobody to ask anything, then certainly I'll put an end for all. Have a nice sleep and nice dinner before that. Thank you.